Hi, hello. If you're new here, hi, I am Maddie, and we are going to be starting Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I have already officially started this, officially read the first chapter, and I know I'm gonna love this book. I know it's gonna be 5 stars. I just know. However, I am very nervous about the movie. Very nervous, especially with how everything went with book 3 and the third movie. So I'm not gonna have as many expectations as I did with the third movie for the fourth movie. But let's see how many pages we can read tonight. You know what would be really cool? It's actually kind of like it's a morbid thought. But like you know how in Harry Potter they have the pictures and the paintings and they move. So when Harry gets pictures of his parents, like they're smiling, they're waving, they're moving around, and it's very interactive. What if we could have that in today's society? Like our loved ones being put on our walls and picture frames and they get to smile and wave at us. Like, it's actually kind of cool. I absolutely love the way the Weasleys went and picked up Harry for the World Cup. I was dying. I was literally dying of laughter. I love the Weasleys. Like, even in the movies, like when you read about them or when you see them together with Harry, it's like, it's so wholesome and it's like, that's the family that he should have been gay to, you know? Okay guys, so we made it to page 75 last night and that is chapter 7, and so we are at the point where they just got to the Quidditch World Cup, and from watching the movies growing up, I know something crazy is going to be happening here, and so I'm excited to see how it plays out in the book because I'm pretty sure that there are a mass amount of differences. Okay, I just finished the World Quidditch Cup chapter, and oh my gosh, that was so much fun to read. I can't remember if in the movies you actually get to see like the full-blown match play out and like each team's mascots, but like you get introduced to the Vila. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know what the heck those creatures are called, but in my brain I'm thinking they're like sirens but with legs, so land sirens, so to speak. But and to see the leprechauns and everything, that was such a fun chapter to read. I just read the chapter about the dark market appearing in the sky, and I do remember that happening in movies, but obviously it definitely happened completely different in the book, because I don't remember any of that stuff. I don't remember Winky in the movie, and she most definitely could be in the movie, but so that was like a new character for me being introduced. Definitely very interesting because I feel like right now it's like everything's starting to change very drastically to the dark parts of the universe. Page 171, which is chapter 12, and it's the Tri-Wizard Tournament. So we just got to the part where they're coming back to Hogwarts after the summer holidays and they're about to find out about the tournament. Now, I do remember the tournament in the fourth movie, so I'm very curious to see how this plays out in the book. And guys, I'm loving this book even more so than the last one. Like, I feel like each book that I read, I'm gonna love more and more. I'm genuinely having so much fun reading this series because I'm like genuinely learning the foundation on which the movies were built on. So it's a really cool experience. I'm hoping to get to the halfway point tonight, but don't quote me on that. When Professor Moody is teaching the students about the unforgivable curses and how to fight them and putting them on them to get them to have the experience that they need with the curses, it's like Dumbledore knew. Okay, and I actually got so invested on how Dumbledore knew all of these things. He was like always prepared. I really thought he was a seer. But Google said no. It just said that he's a very intuitive wizard and that he is just very knowing of all things. So until I'm proven otherwise or told otherwise in the book, he's just basically the definition of follow your intuition, follow your gut, listen to it. But I love that because Dumbledore truly wants his students to be able to fight for themselves, have the skills and training that they need in order to do so. Also, we're getting closer to when they start announcing the names for the tournament, and I don't know if it's mentioned in the movie about how you-know-who gets thrown into the Goblet of Fire. I'm not sure if it's mentioned, like, who did it, or if we get that mentioned in the book, or if it is mentioned in the movie. I don't know. I don't remember. But I'm very intrigued to find out who put his name in there.
Hey guys, it's been a little bit of a minute since I've updated you guys, but we are almost to the halfway point. So we are currently in the middle of chapter 21 right now. And here are some things that I've picked up. The Bulgarian's headmaster, the information that we found out about him, that was interesting because I don't remember that being talked about in the movie. Also, how the other schools were introduced to Hogwarts, super freaking cool in the book. I also love how Professor Moody comes about in a way with his eye and the information that we get about his eye. I thought that was really, really cool. Also, Harry hitting Ron with the Potter Stinks pin, you don't see that in the movie. And that's when they're kind of like bickering because Ron doesn't believe Harry about the Goblet of Fire and all that stuff. But when I read that, I was like, wait, what? I do really like that the first task is up to par with the movies from what I remember from the movie, and it's definitely like the same, so I'm hoping that stays true with at least the other tasks, because you can't change the tasks in the movie because then you kind of like change the plot, you know what I mean? But I'm still having an amazing time reading this series. I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done like this evening and tonight, so I will see you then.
Talking about the Yule Ball, and I'm very curious to see if Harry's date is going to be the same that's shown in the movie in the book.
I just read the chapter for the Yule Ball, and I really feel like now, like, Ron and Hermione are starting to realize that they think that they like each other. Like, they're starting to come to terms that they might like each other. Because even though Ron is like, oh, well, you're dancing with Crumb, you're dancing with the enemy, I really, truly believe that it was just jealousy, and you can also see that painted in the movie as well. Also, what the heck was up with that meeting between Professor Snape and Igor? Like, that isn't suspicious at all. I definitely don't remember that being in the movie at all either. And that's one of the things why I love reading this series so much, is because the movies were such a big staple in my childhood. So reading this series, it's like I'm reading my favorite fantasy series for the first time, because I'm learning all these new things, I'm seeing all these new things, seeing how things were described, and meeting new characters like Professor Benz that don't exist in the movies. It's just been so much fun. I've been having a blast. Okay guys, I'm currently in the middle of chapter 28, and there are some things that are happening that I am like, what is going on? Like Mr. Crouch's illness and his sudden disappearance and everything that's going on with him, especially what's happening literally right now in chapter 28. I am very like, I do not remember any of this from the movies. And I don't know if Mr. Crouch's weirdness has anything to do with Voldemort or not, or if it's completely unrelated. I have no idea. Also, not to mention with the second task in Dobby, I do not remember it happening that way. In the movies, I think it's Neville, but I'm not 100% sure. But I also don't remember seeing Dobby like at all in the fourth movie. But I could also be super wrong on that front. But I think he might show up maybe a little bit, but he's getting a lot of time in this book. And I know for a fact that he is not shown this much in the movie. I'm very invested in what's happening right now, and I feel like I've been reading a lot these past few days, so I'm thinking maybe we could finish it today. Guys, I just finished chapter 28, and what was that chapter? What the heck is going on with Mr. Crouch and with everything? Like, I'm literally, that was insane. I do not remember any part of that being in the movie, and it could be because it's not included in the movie, because if it's not, I'm actually going to be, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be a little upset about that, because that was insane. But it also could be in the movie and I just don't remember because I just wasn't paying attention. But I'm literally so flabbergasted right now. It's about to start the chapter for the third task, and y'all, my mind is so like blown away right now. Professor Snape, I always thought, they don't make that clear enough in the movies. They truly do not make that clear enough in the movies. From what I remember, like I am literally, and Neville's parents, I have no recollection from the movies that Neville's parents are ever even like truly talked about what happened to them. And holy freaking crap. Like my mind is like literally being blown to pieces right now. But I am loving every second of it, don't get me wrong. We have 130 pages left and I really feel like we can finish it tonight. Even though I knew that happens, I still wasn't prepared, Cedric. At all. But on a more positive note, I absolutely love that the Weasleys showed up to watch Harry. Like, the Weasleys showed up as Harry's family to watch him in the last task, you know? So, but I think it's safe to say shit has hit the fan right now. Shit has absolutely hit the fan. Guys, we have officially finished Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and holy crap. The ending of chapter 34 with the wands I thought was morbidly beautiful with Harry, with what he got to see. But Crouch? Y'all, I was so taken aback and shocked at the revelations, the things that were occurring, the things that I was learning. I had no idea what was going on. And I'm sure a lot of that is portrayed in the movie, let's hope. But I obviously was not paying attention to the movie because your girl was flabbergasted. But I absolutely loved 5 freaking stars. I'm not going to have too many expectations going into the 4th movie like I have been with the last movies. My only expectation is that they do not touch the plot, because the plot and the things that happened in this book portray such a major turning point for Hogwarts that if they mess with it, it just won't be right. Okay guys, so we have officially finished the movie and I am not sure how I feel about it, because when I'm watching movies, I feel like the timeline is off. I feel like they've switched the way things work with the timeline, if that makes any sense at all. I was upset that Dobby wasn't in this movie, like literally at all, because he got so much time in the books. I expected him to show up at least once in the movie. Also, Bagman not being in the movies at all, I don't understand why his character was not in the movies, because not only does he play an important part in this book, he also plays an important part in the Ministry. Also, why didn't we get to see Sirius in the movie like we did in the book? I don't know, there was just so many things that I'm not, like, I don't know how to feel about it, if that makes sense. Not gonna lie, I did tear up with Cedric. Even though I knew it was coming, it's completely different watching it in the movies, and it's just, yeah, sad day. Also, one thing I definitely did not like was how the way they had Harry at the graveyard. In the books, he is made to be tied up to the headstone and all this stuff, and in the movie, it made it look like he could easily get out of the Grim Reaper. But I think it's safe to say the book was 10 times better than the movie. If you guys liked this video, please hit subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.